Who discovered America? I'm sure you would answer, a man named Cristóbal Colombo. And if I tell you that you have been deceived all your life, believe it or not, but in this video you will know the truth of this whole story. Before the 16th century, when the regions of the world were still unknown to each other and there was no world map to know where each country and region was, the most curious people jumped into the ocean to try to make new discoveries. Thus, in this environment of discoveries, America was found, a discovery that is popularly attributed to Christopher Columbus. With maritime expansion, it was of great European interest to discover new places to colonize and extract natural wealth, already with the importance of business. There are different versions about the reasons that led Columbus to discover what they would call at that time the New World for them. The first says he was looking for a closer way to get to India. India was known as the land of spices and there was a great maritime trade, and the objective was to find a better route, and by chance it ended up in what is now the American continent. Another version says that he went out to look for new lands to conquer. It was a time of many conquests and he went out to explore new lands. And another version also says that in reality Columbus already knew about the existence of a new land, because at that time it was very common to hear people in bars talk about the existence of other lands, and that a merchant had already found a place that had never seen before, which motivated him to go on that expedition. It was in this search that America was discovered, more specifically on October 12, 1492. It happened when Christopher Columbus' fleet landed on an island called Guanahani Island by the Indians, thinking that they had landed in the Indies. Columbus called this island San Salvador, what is now the Bahamas. However, even after landing in America and getting to know the region, Columbus did not imagine that the land where he had landed was a new continent. In the years that followed the discovery of America, Columbus continued to believe that he had reached the Indies. He led new incursions, with the aim of finding the Indian market. These attempts made him land, between 1493 and 1500, in the regions that are today Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe, Puerto Rico, Trinidad Island, to the northern coast of South America. On his last voyage, Columbus still believed that he would find the path that would lead him to access the spice trade. Only in 1504 did Amerigo Vespucci point out that it was a new continent. In 1513, Núñez Balboa confirmed Americo's theory and paid tribute to the navigator, giving his name to the continent he found, America. The European conquerors gave the name New World to the lands they found and found a territory that was heterogeneous in terms of its social organization. There were both nomadic and dispersed peoples, as well as centralized empires, the case of the Aztec Empire and the Inca Empire. Was America really discovered by Europeans? The use of the term discovery to refer to the discovery of America was, and continues to be, hotly debated by historians. Most consider that the use of the term discovery is not appropriate, since Christopher Columbus's expedition was not looking for new lands, but Asia. From Oviedo's writings, the idea of discovery gained strength and was consolidated. Despite this, a discussion raised by some historians addresses the idea that America did not need Europeans or their arrival here to exist. Since the continent already existed by itself and was inhabited by millions of inhabitants who formed different societies, some of them with a high degree of sophistication. Due to these discussions, many historians try to use other concepts to explain this event of 1492. Some speak of conquest of America, others of invasion of America, and other more used terms are arrival, invention, or even find. Therefore, the so-called discovery does not represent the emergence of a new world, since people already lived there, the so-called Amerindian peoples, but this term is the most used. Okay, so the Spanish didn't discover America, but they were the first foreigners to reach the continent. The arrival of the Vikings to America in the 10th century. There are disputes that it was the Vikings who discovered America, and starting in the 19th century, scholars began to claim that the Vikings reached America even before Christopher Columbus. These claims are based on the existence of an archaeological site, with vestiges of Viking presence in L'Anse aux Medois, on the island of Newfoundland. These remains date from approximately the 10th century, long before the arrival of Columbus. Furthermore, in 2010, European scientists found a gene typical of North American ships in the DNA of the descendants of a single woman, representing a total of 350 Icelanders. Thus, evidence shows that the Vikings were the first foreigners to set foot on American lands. But there is still another unsolved mystery: the inhabitants who were already in America before the Spanish and the Vikings. Where did they come from and how did they arrive?